In this day and age, the old saying of phones are not important is simply not true. From making payments, navigation, texting, asking whether or not the programming technique class is available or not, to getting pulled over to check your license and registration.
Especially in the context of sharing stuff, the age-old question will pop up. What phone do you use? Because the different phone users behave differently. iPhone users will usually babysit their phones more than Android users, who usually ask their phone friends to take photos for them. Or, how about the iPhone users will try to airdrop just about anything while their Android friends, who dread enough, try nearby sharing.
And stereotype goes down like this. iPhone battery is really expensive. Android cameras is really horrible. But is that all true? Today, for our assignment, we're gonna answer all stereotypical questions.
And let's dive into this topic. But before that, here's a quick history. Mobile phones existed before the 1990s. Early mobile phones lacked the modern operating systems that we know now. Back then, they used embedded systems like those that we learned in several operating systems to control the basic functions and making calls.
In the 1990s, Personal Digital Assistant or PDS with operating system like Palm OS and Windows CE emerged, offering features like candles, contacts, and basic applications. The IBM Simon, released in 1994, is often considered the first smartphone.
Moving into early 2000s, SIM rose to prominence. It was a truly modern mobile OS, gained significant traction, especially through Nokia popular Series 16 platform. Alongside Symbians, we also had other players like BlackBerry OS, known for its strong focus on email, and Microsoft Windows Mobile, an early attempt to bring a desktop-like experience to mobile.
Then we entered the iPhone revolution in the late 2000s actually. Specifically Apple's iPhone 2, because there was never an iPhone 1, despite what the myths are saying. Google it up. iPhone 2 was released with the iconic launch that truly changed the smartphone world. Apple shipped the iPhone with iPhone OS that revolutionized the mobile landscape. With its intuitive touchscreen interface, the ability to seamlessly integrate the iPod experience with a larger, higher resolution screen, and a breakthrough internet communicator. Shortly after came Android's Google. Released in 2008, it provided an open source alternative, quickly gaining popularity and becoming the dominant mobile OS that we know today.
Then we enter in the modern era 2010. Till now, the market has largely been dominated by iOS and Android. Other operating systems like Windows Phone, BlackBerry 10, WebOS, and Tizen, made by Samsung, have existed but have not achieved yet the same level of the market share. That means they are dead. The focus and shifted toward app ecosystem, user experience, seamless integration with other devices, and advanced features like AIs and extended securities.
Let's analyze for our survey result. 64% responded use an Android. 36% use iOS. Surprisingly, data show that price is the top factor. Most of the people who said the performance is important are iPhone users. Android users are hunting for longevity and software support, unlike iPhone users. This is mostly because the iPhone lasts for a long time.
Why? 85% of respondents buy new phones, 9% get hand-me-downs, and 6% buy used one. To afford new device, 25% finance them, with 50% using telco and other 10% using banks. Despite respondents saying ecosystem are not important, they subconsciously choose them.
Unsurprisingly, Android and iOS users are mostly using devices that's close to their ecosystem. This is probably due to a sense of familiarity, often expressed by users of each ecosystem. As proof, let's look at this chart showing how many people are compelled to switch. And here are the reasonings for them not switching apparently. App compatibility, hard to switch, money, ecosystems, software, security, and privacy. Putting money, security, and privacy aside, these factors are related to one thing, and that's ease of use. Let's face it, we are all lazy, okay? Why did you ask ChatGPT for answers during networking tests last week instead of just looking up the notes? Well, we are just lazy. Same goes here. You're used to the ecosystem, software, and how apps behave on your specific device or platform, and you are lazy to switch. You like the simplicity of having to just scan the animation that's come up on your new phone instead of having to find a very specific cable just to transfer your data so that you can immediately install all the apps and also continue doom scrolling.
That's from our latest survey. But let's look at the big data. No, not that big data. Well, from the Malaysian market research data, let's start with the priorities of Malaysians when they are choosing their phone. Once again, price is not the biggest factor. Really, it's not a big factor. Really, it's not even second, which kind of show real or real. Statement of Malaysia barely eating and can't buy a nice hat is totally wrong.
So, if you want to buy a little hat and you're only making $5,000 a year, you're not going to buy it. Okay? You're not getting Chinese takeout either in Kuala Lumpur. You're barely eating.
The first is actually specific feature. Take the foldable device. If they are set on getting a phone, they are getting a phone.
Welcome back from me, Mugai. Alright, the second factor is the camera. Smartphone camera have improved a lot, and mid-range smartphones are enough for most users. This explain why 70% of Malaysians use mid-range smartphone. Lastly, let's discuss AI. I mean AIs like Gemini, AI, Galaxy AI, and Apple Intelligence. Although people are saying it's a gimmick, data shows that over half of Malaysians wants deep AI integration in their phone to simplify tasks like setting reminders and alarms, and to ask complex questions.
Keep in mind, we are not trying to tarnish the reputation of either the fruit company or the alien system. The smartphone market is vast. We didn't even cover Linux phones. Yes, Android is Linux, but I'm talking about the alpha Linux like Ubuntu Touch. To quote Luciano de Montefio,
everyone's the same, and we're all just choosing whatever life we can stand. Until we can't stand it any longer. That's when people go to war, and that's when people flee. Or maybe there's war and then they flee because they won't be contained to one place.
maybe it's not a war, but problem with the phone's operating system. So we switch to another brand or a new platform altogether. Because at the end of the day, there is no right or wrong answers. As long as you're happy with your phone and you enjoy using it, it's fine. As long as you see it till its end.
Thanks for ending this video. If you're someone who thinks that ecosystems are cool, give this video a like. And if you would like to see me give Android a chance, why not subscribe? Now I'm curious in the comments down below. Are you someone who's still doing brand hopping and finding your perfect ecosystem? Or have you found something nice? Let us know your story.